Hi. You may be wondering why I'm on the floor. I am too.
Stick around, we have a lot more fun and surprises on the way.
I have this pallet that I'm going to make some giant wall-hanging Scrabble letters. I've made them out of plywood in the past, but I happen to have this pallet, so thought I'd give it a try. They're a little over 5 inches, most of these boards, obviously not this one. So I thought a 5x5 square would be perfect. So I'm going to actually avoid the nails. I want to get nice clean pieces. I'm not going to bother ripping this apart because there's no need, and cutting it will be much easier rather than trying to pull all the nails out. So I'm going to get my circular saw out and start cutting. All right, so sanded to 220. And now I have these little 3D printed pieces that I found on Thingiverse. So they're just circular inserts that I'm going to put onto the back of the pieces. I would recommend this for light duty work, but it should work for me. What should work for these. I'll put a link in the description for these down below. Yeah, an inch should be good. Just need a pencil. I mark all these out, and then I size this. I scaled it a little bit, so it's 3/4 of an inch around. Hopefully that'll actually work out. Just use a 3/4 inch Forstner bit, and it just needs to go deep enough for this face to sit flush with that. All right, I'm gonna mark those out and give that a whirl. Okay, now just putting these in. Obviously make sure you're putting them in the right way. Not only make sure you have the right up, but also make sure you're not putting them upside down. So the flat should be on the outside, on the top. So make sure it's straight. Push it down in there, nice and flush. And I'm just going to use some CA glue just to be sure, if I can get this off. Just going to add a little touch on the outside. Whoop. That's going to be more than enough, just to be sure it's in there. All right, I'm gonna do the rest. All right, got them all glued in. Nice and clean on the front. A little funky on the back, but that's all right. But of course, you don't have to use 3D printed parts. I've done it where I literally just drill a pinhole up, of course not poking through the other side, but from one side I just drill a hole, and I just use one of the little hanger nails, little finish nails into the wall. And for something like this, that's more than enough to hold it. I've done it on simple hangings. I've made these before. I've made them out of plywood, and these are 5 by 5 inches. I've made them 6 by 6, and that little method of just little pinholes is plenty strong enough. Again, this is just a gift, so I wanted them to be a little bit more polished. All right, so now that we've gone to this point, I have the front all sanded down to 220, sides, everything. I have the inserts, so all the rough work is done. So we're gonna head over to computer Ryan. Hi. How you doing? Good. 1 second. Okay. And he's gonna take it from here and make the letters on the computer, and then have them cut out, vinyl cutted, and then he'll send them back over here, and we will heat it on. Heat. Yeah, apply heat. All right.
Good choice of words. Well, thank you very much, Workshop Brian. All right, so we are in Illustrator here. I'm just going to look up the default look for Scrabble letters, and I'm putting them directly back into Illustrator on a 5" by 5" square. these are the letters that I need. So I found a font that matches as close as possible. There's no exact font. So yeah, you can see the G and the R are pretty close. I have to fix the G later. All I'm doing is matching the proportions and the size from the image. The numbers are actually a different font altogether, so I kind of had to do a little more searching. And I put in the 1 because the 1 has that very distinctive swooped serif at the top. And so yeah, I just found one that has that same look, sized it, and it's close. It's not 100%, it's maybe 90%. So all I'm doing is going around and matching the letters up with the numbers so they're proportional to one another and they're in the right spot. Just picking each letter. Now I'm making a square around it. So when I scale up the letters, I can scale the square with it and match it to the size of the 5 by 5 inch square that the final size will be. I'm just going to just going to use the G as the reference. So I just sized the G to the same height, or the box around the G to the same height as the 5 by 5. And now I'm just doing a little nesting here so I can just maximize the vinyl that I'll be cutting it out on. It didn't make it too difficult in the end to cut it out. I just had to be careful to keep the, oh, here I am fixing the bottom of that G. I didn't like that it kind of tapered off. It doesn't look like the Scrabble letters. All right, so just saving that as an SVG file so I can put it into the Cricut design software. Here we are. Just pulling up that SVG, loading it in, and it should be all sized. And I just sent it off to the Cricut to cut.
And we cut. Since this is the vinyl, it's very important you make sure that the letters or the cut is reversed. All right, so while we're waiting...
Got them.
Oh, you're done?
Yeah,
Oh.
that hard.
That was fast. Thank you. I got my vinyl. All right. You didn't even take you didn't do the weeding.
Your job, bye!
All right, all right. All right, we'll have to do the weeding. That's the fun part anyway. Scalpel? Nurse?
Yes, doctor?
Need a scalpel.
You're not a doctor.
All right, so make sure not only doing the correct side, but make sure that this is up. So that's on that side. Make sure this is up and the letter is centered. Now, this is where you'd want to get out a ruler. 1 3/8. You've got to be kidding me. How did I do that? 1 3/4. 1. Oh, you've got to be kidding me. I'm amazing. All right, cool. So, just stick the sticky side on. Not done, obviously it's got the plastic still on. We're gonna heat it up, but put that one off to the side. Next! Alrighty. So, we have all our letters placed. They are still attached to the plastic, as you can see. So now we have to iron them. And my wife does have the Cricut press thing that's big. It's for t-shirts. I could use that, but I'm going to go with just a cheap iron because I don't have a lot of space, or I don't need the whole thing heated up. I really just need the letters. So I'm going to go find that and use that. Just heating up, just a cheap iron. We got this for things of this nature. I use it for edge banding. I use it for these and, you know, ironing your shop apron. That is barely hot. Oh, wait. Oh, that's on low. It's on low. I need to turn it on high. But one thing that's important is to try not to move it too much, because you can actually shift the plastic on top. So this is melted, and if you shift the plastic, you can actually smudge it. So just be careful to resist dragging and moving and all that such. I don't want to leave it too long that I end up burning the wood, but I need a little bit longer. Okay. I think that's attached. We had a slight issue with the eye. Yeah, so something got smooshed over there. Ooh, still toasty. And the edge is not perfectly straight. So, yeah. Maybe not that long. Let's try a little less time. More direct approach. I want to get the whole thing if I can. Should be able to. Even pressure. I guess maybe I pushed too hard on the eye and actually like squished the vinyl. So maybe less pressure. Let's see. Okay, so if I lift the corner, the R still comes up. So I need a little bit more time. And again, I don't want to overheat it. The one didn't come out. So what you can do is you can put this plastic back over and just make sure not to touch the iron to the vinyl. But the one had a little lifting problem. So I'm just going to go back over it. And now it's stuck down. Hot. All right, that one looks good. I like that one. Cool. But the R looks good. Continue on. no, I think they turned out pretty well. So I stuck them on the pallet that I cut it from, but I realized there's not a lot of contrast behind it. But you get the idea. Anyway, so I'm pretty happy with how they came out, and they attach pretty nicely to, right now I just have tiny little nails here, but in real life they'll have better nails, but they hang on pretty well. And I think they look pretty good, and definitely look like Scrabble letters. Yeah, so I think that was pretty easy. Again, there's many ways of doing this. Also, a note that I realized when I was drawing these, and you might want to follow this if you want to be super accurate, but technically Scrabble letters are slightly narrower than they all are taller. So these are perfectly square. No one's gonna come over and be like, wait a minute. But yeah, again, if you want to be super accurate, you could make them slightly skinnier than they all are taller. But for ease of making, square is fine. And like I said, there's many ways of doing this. You don't have to do the Cricut heat transfer. You can just do paint. You could do a stencil and spray paint it. You could marker them on. You could do it however you want. You could cut out a piece of paper and just super glue it, or maybe not super glue. Probably do some sort of Elmer's glue. But yeah, so you could do it that way. And on the back, you don't have to do these 3D printed parts. You could drill a hole at an angle, like I said, and that'll work for these little tiny hanger nails as well. Thanks again for watching. Please like and subscribe, and hit that little notification bell if you want to be notified of other videos in the future. I have some planned, and yeah, you have a good one. Now I need to go inside. I am dying without this fan on. Peekaboo! I love you, Paige. I'll be in a moment.